The gates of heaven, forged from pure starlight, shuddered and moaned as they opened for Namtael. A cold whisper rippled through the celestial city, a murmur of astonishment laced with a profound, unspoken fear. He had been gone for eons, banished for a sin long forgotten, a rebellion so quiet it barely disturbed the celestial symphony. He returned as a ghost haunting the corridors of his own past. Namtael, the angel of memory, had come home. He knelt before the divine council, his luminous wings folded in a gesture of profound submission. His celestial robe, once a pure white, bore the stains of cosmic dust and the muted grays of the void. His time in the void, the ultimate exile, a silent, suffocating wound at the heart of existence. And there, in the silence, he had found something no angel had ever known. The void had shown him the absence of light and the true nature of its opposite. He had seen the threads of creation, the source code of being, and within it, he had discovered a terrifying line of corrupted code, a fatal flaw in the very design of the immortal existence of these celestial beings. He saw this flaw not as a line of power, but as a cancer, a metaphysical parasite that had grown alongside creation since its inception. The flaw was simple, a devastating truth. An angel can kill without the divine permission and consume the ethereal strength of its victim to gain unimaginable power. Namtael spoke of his findings as a tragic witness. The flaw is not the ability to consume. It is the choice to do so. A new form of free will has been born, and with it, a new, terrible sin. His words did not bring celebration. They brought a terrible silence throughout the heavens. The Archangel Michael and the radiant Archangel Uriel, who had stood as the dual pillars of creation, now looked at each other with dawning suspicion. The revelation ignited a schism that tore through the celestial court like a thunderbolt. The golden halls that once echoed with hymns now buzzed with the frantic, discordant clamor of debate. Archangel Michael, the commander of the army of God, stood at the forefront of one group. His face contorts, a mask of righteous anger. "This knowledge is a blasphemy," he thundered. "It is a corruption from the void, a concept alien to our very nature. It must be purged from our minds, sealed away for all eternity." His followers, a legion of steadfast angels, saw the flaw as a disease, a stain that threatened to unravel the very fabric of their divine existence. They saw Namtael not as a victim, but as a carrier of this cosmic plague, a living testament to a truth that must be suppressed at all costs. On the opposing side stood the Archangel Uriel, whose light, though beautiful, now carried a cold, calculated intensity. As the Archangel of Wisdom and Light, he saw the flaw not as a bug, but as a feature, a new pathway to enlightenment. "Ignorance is not purity, my brothers and sisters." Uriel's voice was like music, but with an underlying sharpness. "For eons, we have existed in a state of stasis. This knowledge is not a flaw, but a path to ascend beyond our created forms, to become something greater, to achieve true power. Who among us would not wish to be stronger, to be a protector without equal?" His words, smooth as silk, found fertile ground in the minds of angels who had always harbored a quiet longing for more. Namtael was caught in the middle, a pariah ostracized by both sides. Michael's followers saw him as the source of the rot. Uriel's faction saw him as a tool. His plea that he had brought the knowledge as a warning, not as a gift, fell on deaf ears on both factions. He was no longer just a returned angel. He was a living embodiment of the Great Division, a tragic figure caught in a war of principles. The first signs of the Civil War were apparent. It was a shocking desire of violence that shattered the celestial tranquility. Uriel's followers, emboldened by their leader's hypnotic words, wanted permission to probe the boundaries of their newfound knowledge. To Michael's faction, this was an abomination. They denounced the very idea of consuming the light of a fellow angel. One day, Uriel approached Malak, an unknown angel with no connections or influence. He was a perfect subject for Uriel's deadly curiosity. Uriel cornered him in a quiet part of the city. His influence held Malak in place, his mind unable to fight or reason. With a silent, terrible push, Uriel began to drain his essence. Malak didn't scream, but a gut-wrenching, silent pain radiated from his form as his light dimmed, a sick, gray emptiness swallowing his body. The horrifying sight was a testament to the fact that the secret was not just a theoretical flaw, but a terrifying, visceral reality. Namtael, watching from a distance, could not compare this to the void, a place of silence, of peaceful nothingness. What Uriel had done was different. He had emptied a space where a soul once lived by his own choice, and only to quench hunger for power. Namtael knew then that he could not stand by and watch his home be consumed by this new, monstrous sin. He had to stop the plague he had introduced. No longer a haunted ghost, Namtael strode directly into the heart of Uriel's faction. The air crackled with a newfound authority. His wings, once folded in submission, were now spread wide, shining with a purpose he had not felt in millennia. Uriel, seeing him approach, wore a look of triumphant cruelty. "Have you come to join us, little Namtael? To learn the true meaning of power?" "No," Namtael said, his voice ringing with a conviction that silenced the whispers around him. "I have come to teach you the true meaning of your so-called ascension." He turned to the assembled angels of Uriel's faction, his gaze sweeping over their faces, which were now filled with a mix of awe and unease. "You have seen a display of power, but you have not seen the cost. Look at the shell that was once Malak. The essence you seek to consume is not a star, it is a soul. And when it is taken, it leaves behind a void. Uriel is not leading you to ascend. He is teaching you to become a predator." Uriel's smile vanished. His face contorted into a mask of pure rage. "You are cowardly. You choose to live with the rot rather than burn it away completely, no matter the cost." Uriel's form flared with a brilliant, white-hot light, and he launched himself at Namtael, intent on silencing him forever. But Namtael did not fight. He simply raised his hand, and the ring of heavenly white light above his head pulsed. It became his shield and absorbed the assault. Uriel's light was not absorbed or reflected. It was simply nullified, rendered meaningless, swallowed into an absolute absence of being. The angels of Uriel's faction gasped. Their leader, the one who promised ultimate power, had been stopped by the very nothingness that had defined Namtael's exile. The battle was a shocking display. It was not a clash of force, but a quiet, serene demonstration of Namtael's perfect truth, which left everyone in the heavens in stunned disbelief. Michael's faction, watching from a distance, lowered their weapons in confusion. Uriel's angels began to turn on each other. Their faith in their leader shattered as his power was met not with an opposing force, but with a horrifying emptiness. The first blow of the civil war was not one of violence, but of truth. Namtael, the returned exile, had not only exposed the curse, but had found a way to stand against it. His act of free will has permanently fractured the cosmos. Michael, now, understanding that the solution was not to purge the knowledge, but to understand its nature, he now saw Namtael as a vital component of a new flawed world. The cosmos is not reset, it is permanently altered. The stage is set for a new kind of war, a conflict, not of good versus evil, but of existence versus oblivion.